see. Use this. All right, so there's been some recent interest in how I paint with oil paints. I don't have anything that I can show a good before and after. So instead of trying to fake one or mock one up and then try to type in my process, I figured I would just make a quick video and show you how I do oil paints. Sorry if you hear my dogs and stuff in the background. The whole family is awake and home. Sorry about that. So I have this Games Workshop Ezekiel model that I got off eBay. I plan on stripping it eventually and painting it myself, but I really like how excellent the base coat is. It's a very clean base coat. Come on back here. But there's no shading at all, and I feel like that's a perfect point to show the oil paint process. So I think what I'll show you today, since it's fairly easy to see, will be probably the backpack. Or maybe, actually no, let's just hit that one shoulder pad. You can see there's some paint chipped off. Like I said, I got this off eBay, but that should be fine. Really quickly, let me paste this link somewhere so other people can see it. And sorry about the clicking, that's I'm using a laptop, so. I should have thought about this beforehand. I don't quite have the whole broadcasting thing figured out yet. Okay. So we're gonna go for this green shoulder pad, which you can kind of see, which I showed you a second ago. So for that, we need to get ourselves a good green color. And I think this sap green I have will probably work. This is a sap green. I'm gonna move the camera back a little bit so you guys can see a little bit better what I'm doing. This is the trippiest thing ever. Trying to get it so you guys can see stuff while I broadcast. It really wants to focus on my hand. If I move my hand. All right, this is sap green. This is a Master's Touch student level. It's only okay. Let's put some on the glass palette here. And then bring it up. Gonna grab myself a little bit of lemon yellow. Again, Master's Touch. I got a student kit a while ago, and I still haven't used all the paints from them. And I don't use most of these enough that I need to purchase better ones yet. So I want to bring it down. I want to do some some shades. So I'm going to use this Payne's Gray. This is a Winsor. Actually, I think it's a Master's Touch as well. I can't see because I got it from Hobby Lobby. Again, apologize if my shopping at Hobby Lobby offends you, but it's exactly 1 mile from my house, and I got this for 40% off. So, Master Touch Payne's Gray, Artist Oil Color. Payne's Gray is an awesome color for darkening stuff. It's kind of blue. Anyway, you'll notice that I'm not putting it on paper. I know the oh, you can't see anything. Camera, fix. You can see my hand. There we go. You can now see. There we go. Okay, so I've got my that's my Payne's Gray. That is the green. That's my yellow. And then I'm gonna finish off with a little bit of white for the highlight color. And my favorite white is actually this Winsor Newton transparent white. So oil colors always get really, really tight. It's just how it happens. So anyway, so you see that I'm putting on a glass palette and not on a like a postcard or something like the painting Buddha videos do. That's my own preference. I like to have the oil in them still, as opposed to letting it like bleed out into the card. So let's mix up some color. Got this awesome palette knife. I'm gonna take most of our green because this is our base green color. Let's do a little bit of shadow first. So let's just grab some Payne's Gray. The Payne's Gray goes a long, long way, so we probably don't need as much as I have right here. But quickly mix it all together. So it's this dark green color. And my palette is blue tinted. The piece of glass that I had was actually blue tinted to begin with. So when I made my glass palette, it picked that up. But so this is the color we're working with. You cannot see it. It is almost black, but it's a green, as you can see, smeared around here. Almost looks like a swamp green color. So let's hit the shoulder pad. So for really fine things, for oil I use really cheap brushes. Primarily because I'm not doing really fine stuff. So this is I think I got this particular brush at Hobby Lobby again in a pack of 5 for like $4. I also have a bunch of nail art brushes that I got for even cheaper. I think it was 3 for $1. They're terrible brushes for acrylics, but because of the nature of oils, it's fine. So get a little bit of the paint on there. And let's paint it into our recess here. So the shadow, we're going to assume it's a zenithal highlight. I wish I had a better light, like a more direct light above me right now, but I don't. So we'll paint in down here in this little recessed area. And I'm not putting any sort of like finesse into it. I'm not trying to get on the edges or anything, but this is a terrible color to do. I apologize. All right, well, let me finish this up really quickly, and then we'll hit a blue. So if you can somehow see this, and I can, okay, there we go. So you can see it wants to focus farther out, but I don't want it to. I got this new camera. It's awesome. It looks really nice, but it doesn't want to focus really close. So to figure it out. Anyway, so it's only about this far down the shoulder pad. And you can't see the brush either because it's so dark. Well, screw it. Let's get this. I don't move something you can't see, like the robes. In fact, let's just do that now. Quickly brush out this so I'm not leaving it hanging. And you can't see it, but trust me, it did something. It's back a little bit so you can see where I'm working. I wonder if I'd lower this camera. It's going to drive me crazy. Probably. There we go. That's a little bit better. If it would like to focus on it, that'd be even more awesome. Okay, so let's do some robes. Color choice for robes changes a little bit. So somewhere I have a nice razor knife, but not right here. So let's just grab all this. I don't need it. This is why why glass palettes are awesome. I was able to clean my palette up just by spinning the oil, like scraping the oil off with a razor blade. You maybe saw it. I wasn't paying attention. So color choices. I'm going to use, for the robe, my shadow is going to be a yellow ochre, which is a little bit, yeah, yellow ochre, again with the really terrible colors. I'm not super worried about matching the tone now. And then again, I'm going to keep using Payne's Gray because it has a little bit of blue in it, and that's not a bad thing. So just grab a little bit of Payne's Gray. You see that? And a little bit of yellow ochre. Let's start blending it. Realistically, I probably need all the yellow ochre. Even that might be too much Payne's Gray. But this isn't a color theory tutorial. This is a technique tutorial, and I apologize that I'm doing it quickly. But so what I have is like a baby puke yellow brown. So let's start hitting some places. So I'm gonna grab a different brush. So the brush I was using has green in it, and because I use cheap brushes, I can do this. I can rotate through colors pretty easily. I'm gonna use this. This is a Army Painter, the Psycho. I love it for fine applications of oil. I hate it for acrylics. Get a little bit of paint on there. My hat keeps hitting the camera. So get a little bit of paint on there. I'm gonna try to do this where you guys can see it. And let's paint in our shadow. There's one really long streak right here. Get on the underside of the robe. And I have the secondary brush. This is one of those, another one of those just cheap brushes. I have to get this even closer. That's annoying. So on the upside, this is all on a microphone stand. So I do have quite a few like fine adjustments I can do. So yeah, I've got the oil paint down here in this crevice. Come on, focus. There we go. I wonder if I were to paint over something dark. You can see that. So I'm gonna do with this brush, which you can't see. This can drive me crazy. Oh, there we go. It's gotta be like a fine place I can do this. You'll be able to see it. Can you see that now? All right, this is terrible for me. So hopefully it works out for you. Come on, camera. This camera is made for a regular use, about 2 feet away, not 6 inches away. Okay, so anyway, so I've got this really shitty brush. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the recesses, and I'm actually going to massage out what I just put in there. The thing about oil paints is you can massage them forever. So I'm just going to paint in my shadows that way. Come on, camera. You can kind of see how that works out. Let's do another one. So what I'm doing right now is I still have like the original. I haven't cleaned my brushes at all. I'm just trying to work that shadow out farther. So I still probably have the same. I still have the same color. I only have one color I'm working with. Paint it down here into this recess that you can't see. I'm sorry. This is why this is 0.5, because I don't necessarily know how long it's going to take me to get this whole recording setup thing figured out. So I went and I painted in that line right there. Now this is acrylic. You would never want to do that. It just looks terrible. So keep that there. Bring my really bad brush in. And I can't see this, so let's see if I can turn it upside down and all of us see it. A little bit better, but not for me. Okay. So I'm going to take this really, really terrible brush. Like, this is one that you would use for applying paint. It's so bad. I don't, but you can see how frayed up it is. Okay, so you see how frayed up this terrible. Oh, of course, it's going to do that. All right, I'll just do it. So you'll kind of see what I'm doing. I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to massage again the color. And it gets all over the place. I'm going to take a paper towel, clean off that brush. So I have a little bit too much on the top here. And with acrylic, what you'd want to do is like flush it as fast as you can so you can maybe get the paint off. With oils, you don't have that luxury. Because as soon as you flush it, you're going to ruin everything. You'll be flushing it with mineral spirits, and that's not good. So let's just build a highlight and call that a thing. So we'll use that same yellow ochre that I'm using, and we'll do it with the white. So I need more yellow ochre on my palette. My palette knife has gone MIA. There it is. Clean off the old stuff. So we're going to take our yellow ochre, put it down where you can see it. I'm going to take some of my white. I actually think I need way more white this time than I do yellow. So I want that. I'd love to be able to match that color, but I'm not going to be able to. Maybe if I add more white. Okay, so somewhere outside of the screen I have another batch going. Let's grab some white. Trans white may have not been the best choice, so let's go with titanium white. This is a Winsor Newton titanium white color. It doesn't get much brighter than that. I actually think titanium white is the brightest white. I also believe that it is toxic, so if you're a brush licker, do not do that with your oils. So let's grab a lot of white here. Put that in, massage it around. Yeah, I had too much yellow in there, so let's grab all my white. You know what? I don't need to actually match this. I'm gonna go straight titanium white. I'm not even worried about blending, about color matching, because I'm just showing you technique, not necessarily color. So this is green. I don't want that one. So your blending brushes will pick up the color they've been working in. So try to stay within the same family for your blending brushes. And for my not blending brush, I'll just grab just a 000 piece of crap brush. Just go straight titanium white on it. We'll just put tiny little bits where I need it. So like all things, the green has kind of overtaken the blue from the Payne's Gray, has definitely tinted everything a little bit green. That's fine. So if you saw my posts earlier in a weird place, talked about how artist colors blend a lot better. Like the pigment is just a lot better than the pigment in student model paints. Sorry, I'm a sax player, and that's what we would call new student model horns is student model. If your blending brush gets too full of crap, you just wipe it off on a paper towel. The pigmenting in the student paints is terrible, and you can often see it start to break up. Not an issue so much with artist paints. I'm using these totally neat, totally unthinned. Let's get this leg here, right there. Just gonna do this entire leg with a bright spot on the. So you put your paint where you want the color to be the brightest or the most intense. The brightest implies like a highlight, and that's what this is this time, but it's not always gonna be the case. So then you just massage it in. This is terrible. All right, we're zooming back out. I'd rather you guys see a little bit than nothing. See, let's grab some more of our white. I almost grabbed it with my blending brush. That would have been really, really bad. Put it, I don't know, right here on the leg. That's where these highlights are going. And I say that this is like a mix between scumbling and two-brush blending. Scumbling is an oil painting technique, two-brush blending being an acrylic technique. It's on top of his head. The idea is that like two-brush blending, you're going to put your paint down and you're going to feather it out with your other brush. But it's more of like a scumbling thing, like oil paints, because I'm not using water at all to get there. I'm just hitting it with a dry brush. So let's do this purity seal here so you can kind of see that's a really good dark yellow that it's using. I'm just going to blend up, drag my paint up it. So let's just go ahead and ruin this model. First, let's grab that highlight because it stands out. Could you do this, do white directly onto other colors to get that nice pop highlight that we all like to have? And the answer is sometimes. So let's put a little bit of white directly on the backpack. That stands out a whole lot. Let's go back to my green. Sorry. Let's go back to my green blending brush because worst case scenario, it'll be a little bit like it. Just start to blend it out. Kind of makes it a little pastel. So let's see if we can see that. See if we can make you see that. You think you're good with fine motor skills until you're trying to put it on a camera. What if I find something dark? There we go. See if we can see the red down there. Dark a little bit too. It's harder with the white that wants to wash out. Let's do some more on the blue then. So I take my, sorry, I keep putting my brush in my mouth. So I'm gonna take my white and put it right where I want the highlight. Doesn't have to be pretty, doesn't have to be beautiful. It's just a big spot of white. It's only blurry, and that's fine because that's exactly what it looks like. Getting stuck on alcohol. Big old spot of black, of white. Let me get a blacker thing. A blacker thing. Okay. So we go with this blending brush. We're just going to start blending it out. I feel like I have too much paint in the blending brush from previous blends. So we'll take our paper towel, wipe it out. Like this is how the brushes get treated like crap. There we go. So we just start blending it down. Here's the thing about oil paints. You can blend forever. That's not a literal thing. You can't blend it literally forever. But you can blend it for a while. So if it's too intense, you can often pull it down just by blending it out longer. We could try some wet blending for oils. So let's go straight Payne's Blue. Payne's Blue is, like I said, it's a Payne's Gray. Sorry, is a blue-gray color. It's super duper dark. And I love it. put this. I have not applied any paint yet. Payne's Gray. Down in the recess. And this is going to absolutely overwhelm it because blacks overwhelm whites. Looking at it closer off camera for myself. We actually do a little bit more Payne's Gray. So, looking at the backpack. You see the shininess in there? That's all the oil paint. There we go. Back to my blending brush. Again, we're just going to blend this up into the white and blue that we just had. So I end up with that sharp line that I don't necessarily want, but it kind of shows what I'm doing. Let's do on the other side as well. So I'm just doing that whole two brush feathering, scumbling thing. And you can just do this all day. Like I feel like I need more white up top now. But let's see if I can just drag this down. Not so much. All right. This is definitely like a technique that not a lot of people use. I don't use it as much as I would like to. But the truth is I don't paint as much as I'd like to, and I probably use oil paints. I definitely use oil paints to blend more than I use acrylics to blend. So, mineral spirits. Put this up here. A puddle of mineral spirits. This is going to go everywhere. But if you look, so I've got this on the backpack that you can't see. There is some Payne's Gray on like the silver edge. And I want to clean that off. The way you're going to do that is through the use of mineral spirits and a clean brush. You just go in and you just wipe it off. You want to be really, really careful though, because it's going to get all up in everything. What we're doing is we're thinning out the paint that's all that is there. It's going to become a wash-like consistency. And if you're not careful, that wash-like consistency will just go and become a wash. So I was thinking while I was here, I could show you how to do it on metal too. It is exactly the same. Grab our Payne's Gray. We'll make this be the dark side. We'll do some really traditional metallics where we have a highlight on one side and a shadow on the other going opposite directions. So we're just going to take it and we're going to massage it down. Drag it down the blade. So on the other side, if this were a nice easy blade, it wouldn't have this craziness on it. It does. I'm going to ignore it. Let's just paint this on the other half of the blade where it would be nice and dark. And drag it up the blade. So it's one of those instances where you can't spend too much time prepping. You can't really use acrylics over oils. I mean, you can, but you have to wait till the oils are totally dry before you do it. And that will take literal days. There's our sword. Black box. Not so black anymore. That's just Payne's Gray oil over silver. Like I said, Payne's Gray is my favorite color. Yeah, I will keep working on this. Eventually, I'll put out a real tutorial. Once I get my camera situation all figured out. And you all will love me. Or at least I will be happy with myself. In the meantime, my name is Dave Matney. This has been Dave Paints Slowly, trying to show you basic oil painting techniques. Hopefully, I at least showed you a little bit. So, thank you. Good night.